I made my own money at home, and amazingly it worked. Somewhere north of 20 years ago, I got some instruction on how coin-operated vending machines accurately counted the coins you put in, and why it was kind of hard to trick them. I was fascinated, and wanted to know how the newer, at the time, bill accepting machine worked. I was told that that info was secret because if you knew how, it was pretty easy to fool the machines. Keep in mind this was probably around 2000 or so. I assume the machines are better now. Anyways, this fascinated me. It was before YouTube, so I couldn't just go look it up, but I started just looking at the bills I had. One thing I noticed was that, with Canadian bills back then, maybe still, each bill was slightly different sized. All the $5 were the same, but different from the $10s and so on. Boredom and a lack of forethought got the better of me and I tinkered. I had an old color scanner and a beater inkjet printer. I scanned and printed both sides of some bills, and carefully glue-sticked the sides together, and then cut them to the exact size of the real bill. I did that with a $5 and a $10. For shits and giggles, I went to an automated car wash and put one of my bogus bills in the change machine. BZZZT. The machine spit it back out. I noticed that a corner was bent, so I straightened it and fed the bill the opposite way. Cling, ca cling, ca cling, ca cling, cling. As $5 worth of quarters dumped out. Holy shit. It worked. I tried the $10. Cling, ca cling, ca cling, ca cling, cling. This time 40 quarters dumped out. I looked around, realized what I had just done and panicked. I left the car wash immediately and then drove home. At home, I couldn't believe what had just happened, and then all of a sudden I couldn't not try to replicate it. I made another $10 and a $20 and went to a different gas station. Cling, ca cling, ca cling, ca cling, cling. As $10 worth of quarters dumped out. Again, at a different change machine. Holy crap, this is real. Then I tried the $20 bill. BZZZT. The bogus bill came back out. I tried again. BZZZT. No go once again. One more time. BZZZT. No such luck. It didn't like the $20, but the $5 and $10 seemed to be a lock. Then it started to get stupid. I told a friend of mine about what I'd done, and almost instantly we started making plans to become big-time counterfeiters. We started figuring out where to go, how to avoid camera, etc. Then I finally came to my senses. This is fucking stupid. What do we do with shit tons of quarters? Do I really want to end up in jail for this? I called it quits, and that was it. I still don't know why it worked. Was it the size? It wasn't the quality of the bills. You couldn't fool a blind person with them. Maybe it was just the machines were hot garbage, I don't know. But I guarantee you, I got $25 worth of quarters by exchanging my dog shit faux bills in a change machine.
I messed up and I'll never be able to undo the damage. Don't make the mistakes I have. Before I leave this place, I want to share my story so at least then someone out there can learn from my mistakes and so it's not all in vain. I'm a guy and I had a friend who I met up with sometimes for fun. We got on, even had been so close to going on holiday together, but it didn't happen because of money. Anyway, a bit about me. I've always not been so confident when it comes to the whole personal relationship with people. I've always tried to avoid interaction out of fear of doing or saying something weird. I've had friends throughout the years, but most friendships end up in some crap way. I've one proper friend who I live with and we spend most of our time together. In work I'm doing well, I manage a small team in a job I thoroughly enjoy. I know my people throughout the company appreciate me and they pay me well. I don't let personal me into work, there I'm good at what I do and it's like escape. Anyway, back to the shit. Me and my friend X have met up a few times but nowhere near as many times as I had planned to meet him. I'd agree to meet him, get showered, sometimes even drive to his place and then just not meet. I'd come up with some excuse and bail. This was a thing over a few years. So it's near Valentine's Day and me and X are taking as we usually do this time of year. He tells me he had to block me cause his head wasn't right and he didn't know if I was good for him. He said he had thought about ending, which really surprised me cause I thought he was so strong compared to me. When I heard that, I told him straight up if I'm not good for him or if he's ever feeling that way to say to me. I told him I feel crappy too, as everything he was saying that night I related to. He just gave me the impression he was like me and felt alone in this world. I wanted him to know I was there no matter what. The last thing I ever wanted was to think I was causing anyone any bad. We talk more and he says he really likes me and I say back to him I really like you too, man. I meant it. I didn't say anything more than that cause I always knew I never wanted to hurt him. He was younger than me and I just felt he could do better than me. He was out and proud and I was hiding away. He was good looking and I felt like crap. At the time I couldn't imagine myself going home to tell everyone I was with a guy, etc. We don't really talk after that for like more than a month. Then one night I remember just feeling like crap and we end up texting again. In 2 days I was turning 28 and I wasn't feeling great about it. I was regretting my last decisions, who I am, etc. I tell him I was feeling a bit crap, but I don't tell him why. I remember he telling me he also wasn't having a great time at the moment. If I'm honest, I didn't think too much of it. He didn't tell me any details, but I didn't ask any. I was too caught up feeling sorry for myself to recognize I had told him to reach.
I had told him to reach out to me if he needed me. If he had no one else, I'd be there. He was always with friends, always out. The complete opposite of my lifestyle at the time. I just sat in alone most weekends. So I tell him it's my birthday and he asks, can we go out? I sort of agree, but we go on to discuss either me traveling down to him or him traveling up to the city I lived. He tells me he's no money and I say I've no way to get to him. I did have a way to get to him and I did have the money to give him. I even owed him money. Our conversation that night ended up with me basically saying I'll let him know what I'm doing. In my head I remember so clearly wanting to go down to him that night. I knew my friend would want to be with me for my birthday as I was with him for his etc. I didn't want to make my best friend feel alone by leaving him to go celebrate my birthday with X, and I felt I couldn't allow my best friend to ever meet X or see that part of me, so I just avoided it all. The day of my birthday I didn't get talking to X. I never wrote to him cause I didn't want to write to him again that I wasn't going to meet him. I couldn't lie to him. I just felt he was better off without me. He was strong, much stronger than me. He was confident, outgoing, good-looking, adventurous, and that day I just thought I needed to keep my own shit together in my own head. I had a bottle of whiskey with my best friend in the house and went off to bed. I remember that night laying in my bed drunk crying, thinking about everything I've done wrong and how crap my life was and how I was always going to be alone. I was depressed and my way of dealing with it was to cry into a pillow so no one could hear me. I hated it. I should be doing more. I hated I never celebrated my life. I didn't have the friends etc. Anyway, I wrecked my head enough to pass out eventually. I remember seeing socials for X and seeing him with his friends and thinking I was glad he was out with people. I didn't feel so bad for not meeting him. So fast forward 2 months, I'm sat alone in the house for a few days. My best friend is on holiday with his girl and I start to think of X. I had tried to write to him weeks before, but it didn't go through and it looked like he unfriended me, so I thought he had fallen out with me and I deserved it. Though I couldn't let that be it, I wanted to say hi and say I was sorry for not meeting up that night. I ring his number and it goes to voicemail. Weird, but maybe I didn't have his right number. I finally add him on Facebook and write to him there. No answer. At this point, I'm thinking he is just ignoring me or he'd got a boyfriend and doesn't want to comply act things. So I'm sat alone, bottle of cheap-ass wine in hand, and I'm being usual depresso, and for some reason I Google X's name. What I see is my worst nightmare. I see messages from people paying their condolences. What the fuck? I scream, not you, please not you. He felt alone in this world and I did too. At moments where loved ones spend together, me and X would end up talking to each other though messages. We were there for each other to distract each other on Christmas, Valentine's, etc. every year. When I felt alone I would write to him and I think he'd done the same to me. I just wish I had the confidence to be me and to allow myself to get closer to him. I have so many regrets in my life, but this overshadows everything. For months I couldn't sleep right. I'd sleep for the absolute minimum. I can't describe how much this has fucked me up. Life was shit, but now it's got such a dark feeling to it. I like to fix things when I fuck up, but this one I know I can never fix, and it hurts so bad to think X felt he was alone and die in such a horrible way. I didn't realize it was my last shot with him. If I was ever going to do the whole with a guy thing, being with X would have been perfect. He was such a kind soul, everyone loved him. I just didn't want to hurt him when I hadn't even sorted my head out in that way yet. I wasn't brave enough to tell the world who I was, and I wasn't brave enough to tell him how much I liked him. I am a coward and I'll never forgive myself for what I've done on him and that man. I know I wasn't there that night, and I know if I had the slightest idea this wasn't even possible, I wouldn't have let him do what he done. But I should have known, I should have recognized it, and even if I didn't recognize it, I should have at least been there that night. He was the only person actually really looking to celebrate my birthday with me, and I choose to stay at home with my best friend who is prob only there out of pity for me. Each and every single day I wake up I think about X and I say sorry multiple times a day. I know he can't hear me say it, but I can't help but say it. I ghosted him and he ghosted me for real, and it's such a horrible feeling inside. Since then I don't even try to meet up with anyone, I don't go out, I don't have anyone I meet for fun, I don't really find anyone attractive anymore. Me and my best friend still live together, but he spends his weekends and the big yearly events with his girlfriend. I basically sit each weekend in silence waiting for work to come along so I can distract. I lived alone once before for a few months and it got to me. I know eventually my best friend's girl will want him to move out with her and he will have no choice and will ditch me. We've been so close for the last 15 years that I've become so close to him. He's the last friend and person I really connect with, and I know that's going to end. Illinois be truly alone with no one to spend any time with. I have my family back home, but that's different. They have their own lives, etc. If you're reading this far and you feel a bit alone in this world, please know that you are not. There are so many people feeling that way. Most people are as good as you hiding it or even better than you at hiding their pain. Most of us carry crap we feel we can't share. The truth is that life is very short, it's very fragile, we get one shot, one opportunity. We are probably not going to be here again, so please do yourself justice and try to live your life and take risks. Be brave, tell the world exactly who you are and stand proud of yourself. Work on you, but please look out for the people around you. You don't know how much you can impact their story for the good or bad, so always be kind and remember we're all the same deep down. If you're going through hard times, I promise you whilst it's shit now you will become stronger because of it. Tomorrow is another day and the world is a better place when you're here. Never make such harsh decisions when you're upset. When it feels really tough, I promise you there is a bit of good coming your way, just wait and look for it. Learn from my mistakes, go out with friends whilst you still can, look out for your people and they will look out for you. If someone is not healthy for you, say it to them in the nicest way and distance yourself how you need to. Don't become like me and live in another person's shadow with only thing you know for is coming is more loneliness.